It's great. It's great to have everybody here. Today's going to be a special one, obviously, since we have been talking in the past three previous ones, if we don't take into account the last one with the experiment, how important it is to focus on the process and how important it is to get things done in that sense rather than focusing on the goal. So I'm going to invite Ahmed on the stage to come and talk with me because obviously he went through this first-handed and he would love to share his experience with everyone else. He has noted down some situations that did happen in his life that he resonated with what we have talked about here, and he decided to go deeper into this matter and share his personal perspective, what he went through, and also kind of presented from his point of what he understood, what he learned, and he would like to share it further for everybody else. So without further ado, Ahmed, the stage is yours, buddy.
Yo, what up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. So here's the thing that I want to actually share about stress and on focusing on the process instead of the outcome. Let's say focus on the input instead of the output. So here's the thing. You need to stop treating money like a life or death exam. The guys making the most are the ones who treat it like a game. They're gonna play for 50 years. So basically, stress doesn't make you sharper, it makes you desperate. Desperate people make the worst financial decision on the planet. Now, when you're stressed, let's talk about the biology of stress. When you're stressed, cortisol floods your brain. Your prefrontal cortex, the part that does risk assessment, long term thinking, pattern recognition, they all go offline. Another thing, your lizard brain takes over. Your lizard brain is the fight or flight brain. That's why stressed traders revenge trade, stressed employees take the first job offer, stressed entrepreneurs undercharge. So here's the thing, when you are stressed, you're basically not thinking, you're reacting. So most people are basically stuck in a cycle. They're stressed because they're broke, and they're broke because they're stressed. So stress makes them grab short-term solutions, bad jobs, bad trades, bad deals, which keeps them broke and keeps them where they are. The loop doesn't break until the stress breaks. Now I'm gonna actually share you a story that happened with me recently. So I was taking the driving test, and the first time I failed. And I am a good driver. I've been driving for like since I was 12. So why did I fail? I basically reanalyzed everything after I took the exam and why I failed. It's because I stressed about it. Because I kept thinking about it day and night, day and night, day and night. Even though I mastered it and I mastered the techniques, but I failed on the first time. And then now, today actually, I took the retest and I didn't think about it. I was super relaxed, I was super confident in myself, and boom, I passed it easily. What you could
I
what
love
you could
this.
learn from oh yeah, yeah. So what you could learn from this actually is the detachment from outcome. It doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about the process more than any single result. And that's what produces results. Now, people sometimes here don't take it seriously and think it means don't try. Not exactly. It means don't let any single outcome define you. For example, a trade goes red, you analyze it. That's a data point. A business idea fails, iteration. You go rejected, redirection. The moment you attach your identity to a result, you can think clearly about the next move. So, Shem, do you want to add a few things?
Yeah. I definitely agree with everything that you're saying. I love this. I love the approach of taking life like a video game, because like a game. You said game because I keep saying that everybody should view life as a video game. This is GTA, and what Ahmed is doing right here is literally entering cheat codes while he's playing GTA. And I love how he's taking the point to stress enough and elaborate how we should pay attention more to the process than the outcome. And this is the same thing as being a trader, like Ahmed said. Don't focus on the red trade, focus on the process. Imagine the best traders out there in the world. They would never be the best traders if they were focusing on failures or focusing on the fact that they had, quote unquote, like Ahmed said, red trades instead of green ones. None of them focus on the outcome of their trade. Obviously, it is important to a certain point to take things, should I say seriously? Yes, because it is a serious job and is a serious position in order to, get things done. But the secret is for everyone to focus on the process, because when you're focused on the process, you're focused more of what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong rather than stressing out for no reason. And I know Ahmed has been driving for what, since he was 12, 11. I have seen videos of that guy drifting in luxurious and sport cars. And I can tell you guys, he beats 99% of the drivers out there without a doubt, single-handedly, blindfoldedly. But again, stressing is the thing that makes you create more mistakes and mess up. In the military, there's one last thing before I hand it back to Ahmed. In the military, there's this amazing experiment they did together with the CIA, and they elaborated on the fact that anybody in the military, if they're given the obstacle instead of the target, their mission always failed. So, for the sake of the argument, example would be if somebody was flying a jet and they would ask them to avoid the obstacle, in 99% of the times they would hit the obstacle, right? And that makes sense because what you're doing to yourself is you're telling yourself, I'm not gonna hit the obstacle, I'm not gonna hit the obstacle, I'm not gonna hit the obstacle. And in the end, you do hit the obstacle, right? And it's exactly like the previous part we had where I said that the teacher was telling to his students to keep saying to themselves, I'm gonna climb the ladder, I'm not gonna climb no, I'm not gonna climb the ladder, I'm not gonna climb the ladder, and before they go to sleep they would think of climbing the ladder, and they would, because they're focusing on the obstacle. So when the military did this experiment, they didn't focus on the obstacle, but they focused on the goal. Every single time they single-handedly carried out the goal without an issue. So it's all a perspective. This is kind of I guess an important one that I wanted to add to everything Ahmed was saying before we go further down. But back to you, buddy.
Great points there, Shem. I like how you actually laid them out, and I totally agree with you. There's something else I call is the poker player analogy. So what it is basically when professional poker players don't freak out when they lose a hand. Why? Because they know they're playing thousands of hands over a lifetime. One hand is just noise. The process is the signal. If your process is solid, the results come. It's the same with trading. If you have a solid strategy, boom, you make money. You just don't care about the outcome. But if you panic after one bad hand and change your entire strategy, you're done. That's what most people do with money. They make one decision based on fear. It goes wrong, they panic harder, and the spiral continues. So basically, attachment is expensive. That's why in crypto specifically, we say don't marry your bags. Because if you marry your bags for a long time, you just can't get rid of them and you will lose money. So attachment is expensive. When you're attached to a specific outcome, oh, this trade has to work. I need this to 10x. I can't afford to lose this. You've already handed your power to something outside your control. You're no longer in control. The market doesn't care about your feelings. The economy doesn't care about your bills. The only thing you control is your process and your response. You want to add anything to that, Shem?
Not really. I think I think it's pretty well said, man. I think it's pretty well said.
All right. So another thing I want to add on is not taking life seriously is not like being unserious. The most effective people are the ones who take their craft seriously but take themselves lightly. They can laugh at a loss because they know there's another opportunity tomorrow. They don't spiral because they've decoupled their self-worth from their net worth. That's freedom. And freedom makes better decisions than fear every single time. I have a quote by Warren Buffett. It says, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." Now think about what he said. The most relaxed guy in the room, Warren Buffett, who manages billions of dollars. You think that is a coincidence? So here's the thing, you need to actually just forget about the outcome. Just forget about it. Don't stress about it. Forget about like the future. Just focus on the present moment. Focus on the inputs. Just do the things that you should do. Don't stress about them. We're all gonna die in the end. We're all living in a floating rock on Earth, as Shem always says. Now, there's another thing called the game framework. Now, you need to reframe money from a survival mechanism to a strategy game. When it's survival, every loss feels fatal. However, when it is a game, every loss is a lesson. Most people are in survival mode. That's why they don't make money. They run month to month, paycheck to paycheck, emotionally reacting to every fluctuation. That's because they were taught money is scarce, dangerous, and hard to get. However, game mode is opposite. You study the rules, you learn the meta, you develop a strategy, you play to win, but you know you can run it back if you lose. Completely different energy. Now, do you notice how wealthy people talk about money? Oh, I'm playing the market. Let me take a position. I'll make a bet on this sector. It's like game language. Not because they're reckless, no. I'm not saying rich people are reckless. It's because they understand that emotional distance from money is what lets you deploy intelligently. You can't think clearly about something you're terrified of losing. That's why in trading, when we say you need to set your stop loss, like for example at a specific price, and you need to accept the money that you lose before you even execute the trade. For example, yesterday, I lost the trade on a Bitcoin short. So what? So what? I learned from my lesson. I was actually talking to Shem about the trade and I was like, super chill. Okay, boom, stop loss hit. Let me log that trade. That's it. I learned my lesson. I learned why I entered and what I shouldn't have done. So it's basically the input versus the outcome. Now here's a cheat code. Control your inputs, detach from your outputs. Your input, which are, for example, studying the charts, doing the research, building the network, managing risk, staying disciplined. Your outputs are like, for example, your P&Ls, the results, the market moves. They are the stuff that you cannot control. You can't control the output no matter what. You can only control the input. So why are you even stressing about the thing you can't control? Put all that energy into the thing you can. Like let's say you're worried about something right now, in the present moment. Are you gonna be worried about it in 5 years? I don't think so. So why be worried about it right now? Just relax, play life as a game. I'm not saying like, oh, don't take it seriously. Like that means, okay, just be reckless. No, like be serious in some moments, in some aspects of life. But like play it as a game. Like as Sham said, play as GTA. You want to open a business, boom, 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 hop on with your friends playing GTA. Oh, I want to open this business. Oh, let me do this heist. Let me do that heist. You're having fun. This is how you need to approach life. Now, I have a question for you guys. What's one financial decision you made out of stress that you regret? I'm gonna type that in the chart in the chat and just hand the voice all over to Shem.
Thanks, man. Great points there. And I'm super happy that you actually took your time to, write this down and go through this and that you want to share with us your experience and that you want to, in a way, not just share it, but give more to others. Because I think this is the best thing one can do. Go through a stressful situation, realize that he has been stressing, then he questions himself, why am I even stressing? And then you start thinking even deeper and like you think to yourself, why are you even stressing over something that you're really good at, right? Something that you could single-handedly do, and you mess it up over thinking, over thoughts, over constantly asking yourself, should I do this? What if this happens? What if this person reacts this way? What if this? It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter how people react. It doesn't matter what somebody's going to tell you. What is somebody going to tell you? They're going to tell you a no. It's not the end of the world. They're going to tell you yes. Great. Are you going to pass? Great. Are you going to fail? Great. I mean, either way, it's like I don't think I don't think someone's going to say a no. I don't think someone's going to say a yes. I don't think someone's going to fail or whatever. It's all a process. It's all about just being there, being present, being in the moment. And yes, my favorite quote is, "We're living on a rock that's flying through space." So who cares, right? Who cares? It is a game. And speaking of games, I could think on top of my head how I've spent countless hours playing World of Warcraft and getting achievements, and I'm just thinking to myself, all the achievements I could have done in my real life if, let's say, for example, if I was back then doing business or anything like that and collecting real life achievements rather than video games. So yeah, everything is a video game. So absolutely on point, and I love the fact that you share this with everybody. And I just want to take a second and say if anybody here went through similar situations and they resonate with what we're talking here, the money mindset mastery, and they want to share it with everyone else, just go ahead. There is a great place to share that with everyone else so people can, open up and feel that they're not the only ones. Just like Ahmed said, he wants everyone here, if you guys would like to share your bad traits. What were your financial decisions that you've regretted it? It could be purchasing a computer, it could be purchasing Bitcoin very expensively rather than waiting for the price to drop. It could be a meme token, whatever it is. If anybody wants to share, that would be great. I will start first. I don't think I have that many financial, I would say, decisions that I regretted because I regretted it. Oh my God. Sorry guys. That I regretted because I initially always when I take a financial decision, I really sit and I think to myself, do I really need this? Am I gonna really utilize this and use this before I purchase it? So I guess I take a long, long, long um, uh, thoughtful process before I purchase something, and also investment wise, I did really well as well. So maybe I'm not the best one when it comes to. Actually, there is few regrets. I do. Here, I purchased a car that I kind of regret purchasing, not because of the purchase of the car, but because of the situation that the purchase of that car has put me in, which is a very long story that I don't want to elaborate here, but that could be one. Lucas is saying full ported memes when I was new to the market, held to basically zero. Yeah, that can also happen. There's a good one to learn. What about you, Ahmed? Do you have any financial decisions that you've really regretted?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I have. So last year actually, I really wanted like a watch, like just to like a nice watch. just to wear with my clothes and like for meetings and stuff. And then I bought an expensive watch. And now I look at that watch, I'm like, I could have put in that money into the markets and just trade with it instead and make more money out of it. And now if I want to like sell the watch, it would be worth like less than I bought it like for minus like 50%, maybe even more. So yeah, that was like a bad financial decision I made. And I was actually stressed at the time last year because of a lot of stuff, and I don't know why. And here's the thing, as I said, like I was worried about a lot of stuff last year, and I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, why was I worried about it? Like, just relax. Nothing to worry about. Here's the thing. Uh, so basically, when you die and your loved ones come to your funeral, some of them will come, some of them have work and stuff, they cannot attend. Your mother will come, your family maybe will be like crying, and then what? After your funeral, you're gonna have lunch. After lunch, everybody is gonna go back home, sleep, wake up the next day, go to their jobs, and just pay their bills. Try to pay their bills. So, what's the point? Like, the point that I wanna actually tell you is that nobody cares. Just do whatever you want. Feel free. Don't have this illusion that somebody is controlling you. Because I had that illusion and that everybody around me is controlling me and oh everybody like cares what I do. If I do this maybe something bad will happen, and I started overthinking a lot about it, and I just didn't know what to do. And then I just realized that why am I worrying about it that much? Why just don't I relax and just focus on the present and just do the stuff that I need to get done right now. I just forget about the future. Of course, I'm not saying that you don't need to plan for the future. Of course, you need to plan for the future, but there's a big difference on planning for the future on what are like your financial goals and stuff and worrying about the future. Like, oh, what if I failed this test? What if I flunked in my university? What will happen? What will people think about me? This thing changes your attitude and your energy in your daily life.
Absolutely, man.
So back
Absolutely.
to your gym.
You know what? I'm gonna share something. This is so on point. Last week, I actually 2 weeks ago, sorry, I was preparing for my Hungarian exam, and I remember I was doing my homework, I was doing well, and then I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna take like a 2 3 days break just so that I can, you know, make sure that my brain is relaxed and I don't want to stress. I don't want to think about it. I just want to chill. And I chilled. I genuinely chilled. I didn't even think about it. And then I messaged my professor and I was like, "Hey, at what time? No, sorry, not at what time. When do we have the exam again? Because I want to prepare for it this week." And then she answered, and she answered the email laughing that it's today. I was just sitting thinking to myself, I was like, holy hell, it's today? I thought it was next week. And I took the mock-up test and I did really well. And in the end, I didn't stress. I was just doing my thing. I was relaxed. But then again, I do have to like kind of stress here that I was genuinely studying really well because I'm very into learning Hungarian. And I passed the test with 90 out of 100. And the reason why I passed the test with 90 points out of 100 is because I was focusing on the process. I was really focused on learning how to speak Hungarian. I was focused on how do I say, I need this, I want this, I want to buy this, or can I get a glass of milk or coffee or whatever it is. And just because I was focused on the process and not on the outcome, I did really well. And it was the opposite way when I did my first exam in the other school. In the other school, I was quite worried that I might not do well on the exam, and I kept thinking about my final score at the exam, and I scored 60%. We're here focusing on the process. I have completely gotten a different outcome. So I love the fact that everyone's sharing these things in the comments. We have here Apollo. He says he lost some money on NFTs. Lauren says he FOMO'd in like a demon with small cap alts. And again, Lucas full ported memes market. And what are you guys saying here? But I think you mean treating as a game with more levity. Say, yeah. So like, how do I say this? Everything is a game to a certain point. We all gonna die, and eventually I'm gonna die, and who's gonna remember me? Is anyone gonna remember me? Is anyone gonna, talk about the things I've done? No. Does anybody here talk about things that their great grandparents did? I'm pretty sure that 99% of the people listening to this or being here don't even know who their great parents were or what ethnicities they were. They migrated to America or Canada or they stayed where they're from. And then when you ask your parents, and maybe they know something, but not that much. So think of it this way: no one's going to remember us in the sense that it is important for us to do what we feel inside. If we just sit here and think and live inside of our head, are we really living? Because what we're doing then is just we're sitting and thinking, should I take the trade? Should I not take the trade? What if I lose the money? What if I do this? Well, what if it's a no? It doesn't matter. We need to escape this captivity of living inside of our heads, and I'm the biggest victim of that. I used to spend, if not my whole life, always being stuck inside of my head, always thinking, pushing myself to the limits. And then I just realized I'm not living. I'm not alive. I'm basically living inside this little box that's inside of my head that keeps questioning, what if? What if somebody says no? I really want to talk to that person. Should I reach out to them? Or I really want to do that thing. Should I do that? And you come to a point where you understand there's no reason for you to torture your head. There's no reason for you to torture yourself over these thoughts back and forth. All you have to do is just do. You just have to do what you feel like you want to do. Sorry, one second. Let me see. There's a all you have to do is just do what you want to do, and all you have to do is execute on all you have to do is execute on the thoughts that you want to do. And if you make a mistake, great, you will now know what you shouldn't do. And sometimes things are worth going after. Let's say you want to attain Bitcoin and you want to buy some, let's say, right? And your first transaction fails and you lose money, which could happen. It's the blockchain, right? We had these situations where people wanted to buy Ethereum and they would get sandwiched and lose it. Does that mean you should stop and not go after it? No, it doesn't mean that you should stop and not go after it and give up on crypto or anything else. It just means that there's more things that you have to look for down the line. The same with trading. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who, in the beginning, when they started trading, their trades were failing. But now, when they realize that it's not about focusing on the outcome of their trades and making the money, but focusing at the system and understanding how to actually read through their graph with the skill set they have attained of technical analysis, everything is different now. So, this is basically it. And Ahmed, is there anything you want to add before we close it, or
No, everything is actually on point. I love everything that you said. And yeah, just guys, just don't worry, stay relaxed, focus on the inputs. And when we say that relax and don't stress, that doesn't mean like, okay, just be lazy and chill. No, here's the thing. As me and Shem said, focus on the process, focus on the inputs, do the things that you should do, and then the outcome will just come. the result will just come naturally. The universe will look at you, or God will look at you and say, okay, this guy is working and he's doing everything he can, so why not reward him? However, if you focus on the outcome, which you can't control, you're gonna be stressed, you're gonna do bad financial decisions, and even decisions in general. And you will probably like fail 80% of the time if you focus on the outcome. So yeah, that's it. That's everything I needed to say, and I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. And if you've got any questions, please drop them in the chat, and we will answer them.
Yeah, guys, good point. Good point. If anybody has anything to add here, if anybody has any questions, that would be really good. And Ahmed, thank you for reaching out. Thank you for spending your time to write this down and share it with everyone else, including your experience of your exam and how you went through it. And I think this is the best way to dissect an experience that you had and not only learn from it, but
Of
share it
course,
with others. Yeah, and share it with others, right? That's what it's all about.
of course, like this is, yeah, exactly, like this game, for example, like when you play GTA with your friends, back again to GTA, I love that game. You share like the cheat codes with your friends. Okay, do that, do this, do that, and then you win in the game, and then you're happy in your like mansions and businesses. It's such a fun game. I can't wait for GTA 6, by the way. Anyways, back to the point. So yeah, we are here to help everyone. And if anyone has questions, please just ask us. We are here to help. Me, Shem, Nico, CryptoData, everyone here, including a lot of team members. This community is about helping each other, not about being selfish or anything. And yeah, hope you guys liked that stream.
Fireman, Fireman, thanks for taking your time. So, great, great. This was a great one, maybe slightly shorter one, but a great one. And like always, we'll be back on point next week with everything we've been doing. And yes, yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks everyone for coming, and can't wait to see you next week, guys.